You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Yeah, we've got John on the line. Can you bring him up, David?
Hey. Certainly can. How's it going, John?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Living the dream.
Hey, got a question for you. I've worked at a couple of places, and there's been unions, and the issues I've always had with joining is, I'm a Christian, and they don't generally, unions don't support right to life issues or traditional marriage and those types of issues.
Unions never take a stance on a right to life issue ever. I can tell you that 100%. But you will never hear anyone, as far as the union representative, speaking for or against those type of issues. The only thing that we speak for is for issues that directly affect workers.
Right.
Yeah, so I was in a UAW plant, and generally that was a lot of the people's concern was, that the money that you were paying in union dues were going to typically one party, and that party was always in opposition to, what was.
A lot of people, that's one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have, is that union dues goes to fund political parties, but that is a misconception. It's something that the right uses a lot because it stirs people up. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is the Department of Labor audits us consistently, and we cannot give one penny of dues money to either the right or the left, the Republicans or the Democrats. Zero money can go to a candidate or a political party.
Every dime that unions bring in union dues is spent on representing workers and advocating for issues, the issues that affect workers. They can't donate to candidates or their campaigns or to advocate for people to vote for this or that candidate.
But that is a good question, and nobody's saying that you're lying. We're just saying there's a lot of misinformation out there that people really, it's been said, so it's like anything else. You say it long enough, people will begin to believe a lie, and it's absolutely not true. I am the secretary-treasurer for the State Council of Machinists that handles the money for all the machinists in the state of Alabama, and I have my books audited twice a year consistently, and I have to account for every penny, and I can promise you, if there's one penny that goes to a candidate of either political party, the IRS and the Department of Labor is going, they hold me personally responsible for those funds. I will be standing accountable for that. So, that's not going to happen, I promise you.
What about the Second Amendment? It just seems like all the candidates that unions ever endorse are always opposed to all those positions, which are, you're on the Alabama radio station, and especially the working class those tend to be important issues for them.
Yeah.
And it's the unions always endorsing wrong people, the wrong side.
Yeah. Well, you're talking to two pro-gun
supporters.
Two pro-gun union folks right here. So we've got, we're not like carrying water for the Democratic Party here. We've got lots of critiques of the Democratic Party, of Joe Biden, et cetera, and in fact, I've been trying for weeks to get on a labor reporter who is also a very pro-gun person, and she wrote an article about Joe Biden's gun plan and how his gun plan is not good and how it's going to hurt minority gun owners. So, we have critiques of those issues, but your union dues don't go towards any candidate. Unions are going to endorse candidates, yes, but union dues are not going to go towards those campaigns. And when unions make endorsements, we make those endorsements based on how are these people going to affect our ability to bargain for better wages and working conditions on the job.
Yeah.
That's what we look at.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it through the same perspective of unions. The entire purpose of a union is to build the economic strength of the worker, and that is they're not concerned about your rights to carry a gun. They're not concerned about a female's rights to choose or pro-life or any other. that comes from your church. Mm-hmm. That's if you're worried about your Second Amendment rights, then some people say that comes from the NRA. Some people say that comes from the SRA. The union is simply there for workers' rights. So when they make these endorsements, they make those endorsements based solely on workers' rights issues. The NRA makes endorsements solely on Second Amendment issues, and I would think that most of your churches make endorsements based on their specific causes. So you can't expect a union to cover all the causes of every worker, because I've got tons of workers that I work with that are pro 2A. I would say most of them. I've got tons of workers that may be pro-life or pro-choice, but we're not concerned about any of that.
Right.
Those are wedge issues.
Did your union make an endorsement?
Pardon?
Did your union make an endorsement?
Unions can make endorsements, yeah, but they can't force they can't force members to vote any which way. If unions make endorsements based on who's going to be good for workers' issues.
Who we think is going to be good.
Who you think is going to be good.
Who do you endorse for president?
I don't endorse either one.
It depends on the different unions, but a lot of unions have endorsed Joe Biden, but we haven't. We're not making any endorsements here. But we are out of time, folks. Y'all got to call earlier. You got to call earlier. Everybody's calling into the last segment. We will see you next week on the Valley Labor Report. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.